Liverpool woke up to one of those quietly reassuring mornings where the noise around the club isn't driven by panic, outrage, or crisis, but by the steady hum of good news, sensible management, and a squad that is slowly knitting itself back together at exactly the right time. In a season already shaped by adaptation under Arne Slot, by injuries testing depth, and by subtle shifts in leadership inside the dressing room, the latest updates out of Kirkby feel significant without being dramatic. Jeremie Frimpong's return is now described as imminent. 2 February fixtures have been moved for television, and there are encouraging signs around Dominik Szoboszlai and Joe Gomez. It is not headline chaos, but it is the kind of update that tells you a lot about where Liverpool are, how they are thinking, and what the next few weeks might look like. Frimpong's situation, in particular, has been one to watch ever since that frustrating night against Eintracht Frankfurt back on October 22. The hamstring injury he suffered then felt like one of those moments that halts momentum just as a player is beginning to fully settle. His arrival from Bayer Leverkusen in the summer came with excitement and expectation, not just because of his pace and attacking threat from right back, but because of the different dimension he offers in a system that values width, intensity, and aggressive positioning. For a player who had barely missed a match through injury since 2023, the frustration of suffering not 1 but 2 hamstring issues in his first season at Anfield has been palpable, even if largely kept behind closed doors. Now, though, there is genuine optimism. According to The Athletic, and specifically James Pearce's reporting, Frimpong has reached the final stages of his rehabilitation. That phrase can sometimes be misleading, but the details here matter. He has been back on the outdoor pitches at Kirkby, not just jogging alone or doing isolated fitness work, but taking part in some drills with the squad. That is always the key marker. It is the difference between nearly fit and functionally close to selection. He is close to being given the green light for full team training, which in Liverpool terms means the medical and performance staff are confident that the muscle is responding, coping with changes of direction, explosive movement, and repeated sprints. There is, however, no sense of recklessness. Liverpool are not about to throw Frimpong straight back into the fire, particularly not away at Tottenham. That game, intense, chaotic, and physically demanding at the best of times, is not the environment for a player returning from a second hamstring injury of the season. The club's caution is informed by experience and by the simple reality that hamstrings, once they've gone twice, need respect. The long-term picture matters more than the short-term temptation. Instead, the Anfield meeting with Wolves on December 27 looms as the more realistic target. That date feels important. Boxing Day football, packed schedules, rotation, and fatigue across the league, and suddenly the availability of a player like Frimpong could make a real difference. Not just in terms of starting, but in terms of options, flexibility, and tactical variation. Slot has already shown he values having different profiles available for the same position, and Frimpong's ability to play high and wide, almost as a winger at times, changes the way opponents have to defend Liverpool's right side. It is also worth remembering the context in which Liverpool are managing his return. Joe Gomez is currently injured, leaving the right-back position thinner than ideal. Gomez's hamstring problem, thankfully, is not considered serious, but it is enough to rule him out of the upcoming trip to the capital. In isolation, that might sound concerning, but this is where squad depth and timing intersect in Liverpool's favor. Connor Bradley is back from suspension and is expected to start at right back in North London. Bradley's emergence has been one of the quieter success stories of the season so far. He does not replicate Frimpong's raw pace or attacking explosiveness, but he offers reliability, intelligence, and a tactical discipline that Slot trusts. Bradley starting at Tottenham feels like the right call anyway. It protects Frimpong, avoids unnecessary risk, and allows Liverpool to manage minutes sensibly. It also reinforces the idea that this squad is no longer overly dependent on one solution.
Where once an injury to a first-choice fullback would have prompted a reshuffle or compromise, now it feels more like a managed adjustment. Beyond Frimpong, there has been a collective exhale around Dominik Szoboszlai. The Hungarian's ankle issue had begun to raise eyebrows, not least because of how integral he has become to Liverpool's midfield balance. Szoboszlai brings energy, pressing intensity, ball carrying, and leadership, and his absence would have been keenly felt against Tottenham. The positive update, with Szoboszlai hopeful to play, is therefore significant. It suggests that what initially looked uncomfortable has not developed into something more serious, and that Liverpool's midfield core remains largely intact. Slot's handling of Szoboszlai this season has been interesting. There have been moments where he has been asked to do a lot, both with and without the ball, and there is an argument that his workload has been heavy. That makes this update even more welcome because it hints at careful management rather than forced continuity. Having Szoboszlai available gives Liverpool their engine, their organizer between the lines, and a player who sets the tempo in big away games. The Gomez update sits somewhere in between reassurance and inconvenience. The hamstring injury is not serious, which matters given his history, but missing the trip to London is still a blow. Gomez has quietly re-established himself as a valuable squad player, capable of covering multiple positions and offering calm when games get stretched. His absence is manageable, but it underlines why Liverpool are so cautious with players like Frimpong. Lose one hamstring to carelessness, and suddenly the squad's balance shifts. There is also an intriguing subplot emerging from the Athletics reporting around Florian Wirtz. While not directly tied to injury news or fixtures, the insight into his mindset and the changing leadership dynamics inside the dressing room under Slot feels relevant. Wirtz, it is said, has taken some criticism personally. That in itself is not unusual for a player of his talent and ambition, but it speaks to a broader shift in the squad. Leadership at Liverpool is evolving, with figures like Jordan Henderson and James Milner long gone, and others taking on more vocal responsibility. The hierarchy is not static. Slot has encouraged a more collective leadership model, one where responsibility is shared rather than centralized. That can be empowering, but it can also expose players to scrutiny in new ways. Wirtz responding personally to criticism suggests a dressing room where standards are openly discussed and accountability is expected. For a club in transition, that is a healthy sign, even if it comes with growing pains. All of this is unfolding against the backdrop of fixture changes that, seemingly administrative, have real implications for preparation and momentum. Liverpool's home match against Manchester City, originally scheduled differently, will now take place on Sunday, February 8th at 4:30 p.m. GMT. That slot brings with it the usual weight of expectation, the Sky Sports spotlight, and the sense that the league will be watching closely. Late Sunday kickoffs at Anfield have a particular feel, one that can either heighten tension or create a slow-burning intensity. How Liverpool respond to that atmosphere will matter. Then there is the trip to Sunderland, now set at 8:15 p.m. on Wednesday, February 11th. Midweek away games, especially under the lights, carry their own challenges. Travel, recovery, rotation, and focus all come into play. For Slot, these changes mean reworking training schedules, managing player loads, and thinking carefully about how to navigate a congested period without losing sharpness. It's the kind of detail that rarely makes headlines, but often decides seasons. When you pull all of these threads together, a picture emerges of a Liverpool side that is not without its issues, but is handling them with a level of calm and competence that should encourage supporters. Injuries are being managed, not rushed. Returns are being timed, not gambled. Squad players are stepping in, not scrambling. Leadership is evolving, not evaporating. Even the fixture changes, as inconvenient as they may be, are being absorbed into a broader plan rather than treated as disruptions. Frimpong's imminent return is symbolic in that sense. It is not just about getting a talented right back on the pitch, it's about the club showing it can integrate a key signing carefully, protect him from long-term damage, and still remain competitive in his absence. It is about resisting the temptation to rush because of short-term pressure. When Frimpong does return, whether against Wolves or shortly after, it should be as part of a controlled reintegration with minutes managed and expectations grounded. The coming weeks will test Liverpool in familiar ways. Tottenham away is never simple. The festive period always stretches squads. February brings heavyweight fixtures and awkward trips. But the tone of these updates suggests a club that understands where it is, what it has, and how to move forward. There is no sense of panic, no hint of desperation, just a steady confidence that players will return when ready, that others will step up in the meantime, and that the season remains firmly within Liverpool's control. For supporters, that matters. Not every piece of news needs to be explosive to be meaningful. Sometimes the most reassuring updates